Level 1, the Blood Oath. You are 9 years old. The temple air is thick with the stench of burning animal fat. Your father grips your small shoulder. His hand feels like cold, heavy iron. He is Carthage's greatest general. But today, he is a man hollowed out by defeat. Your world is already in ruins. Rome has utterly crushed your people in the First Punic War. Your legendary fleets are rotting at the bottom of the Mediterranean. Your national treasury is completely drained by crippling Roman fines. Your empire is humiliated. You are starting the game of life with every possible disadvantage. You are standing on borrowed time. Your father drags you violently toward the roaring sacrificial fire. The intense heat blisters your face. He forces your bare hand directly over the searing flames. He does not ask for your tears. He demands a vow of absolute, unending hatred. You do not flinch. You stare directly into the inferno. You swear to the gods that you will never be a friend to Rome. The blood oath is struck. The countdown begins. Your childhood ends right here in the ashes. You are no longer a boy. You are a weapon forged for revenge. Level 2, the Iberian Crucible. You are 26. Your father is dead. Your brother-in-law is murdered. Their blood is fresh. The weight of a broken empire falls onto your shoulders. You are standing in the untamed wilderness of ancient Spain. The Iberian Crucible. The air tastes of dust and dried blood. You are surrounded by brutal, rebellious Celtic tribes. They howl in the dense forests. They want your head on a spear. But they are the least of your problems. Across the sea, Rome is watching. Their paranoid gaze tracks your every move. The clock is ticking violently in your ears. Every second you waste, Rome grows stronger. They are sharpening their swords to crush your rising power. You have no immense treasury back home. You have absolutely no safety net. You must forge an unstoppable army out of this savage land. You must physically tame the wild Iberians. You must bleed silver from these jagged mountains. The blistering heat beats down on your heavy bronze armor. The task feels completely impossible. But you do not break. You tightly grip your sword hilt. You will turn this savage frontier into a weapon. Rome is coming. Level 3, the Spark of Saguntum. Smoke fills your lungs. The stone walls of Saguntum crack and crumble before your siege engines. The screams of the dying echo in the dust. You know exactly what you are doing. You are lighting a match inside a powder keg. This single act triggers the absolute wrath of Rome. The greatest military machine on earth is now awake. Their senators scream for your blood. They demand your head on a spike. They possess near-infinite manpower. They can endlessly print new legions of heavily armed soldiers. You do the math. Defending your newly built empire in Spain is a slow, suffocating death. If you wait here, you will be crushed under their iron boots. The clock is ticking down to your total annihilation. So, you make a choice that borders on pure madness. You refuse to play by their rules. You will not wait for the inevitable slaughter. You look toward the impossible mountains in the north. You will pack up your entire army. You will march directly into their homeland. You will strike the very heart of the beast. Level 4, the Impossible Crossing. The wind screams like a dying animal. You stand at the base of the Alps. Jagged, frozen peaks pierce the gray sky. You command 50,000 men. You command 37 massive war elephants. You order them straight into the frozen meat grinder. It is early winter. The snow is blinding. The cold bites through your armor like jagged glass. Above you, hostile mountain tribes rain boulders down on your marching column. Men are crushed into the bloody snow. Massive avalanches swallow entire companies alive. The horrific shrieks of falling war elephants echo into the black abyss. Your soldiers are starving. Their fingers turn black with frostbite. They beg you to turn back. You refuse. You lock your jaw and march higher into the clouds. When you finally break through the mountains and see Italy below, the cost is staggering. Over half of your army is dead, frozen solid in the passes behind you. You have deliberately given yourself the ultimate starting handicap. You are trapped deep behind enemy lines. You have no reinforcements. You have no retreat. But you are here. And Rome will finally bleed. Level 5, the freezing trap. Your breath turns to white smoke in the freezing dawn. You stand on the muddy banks of the Trebia River. You are massively outnumbered. Your men are utterly exhausted. You have zero supply lines to keep them alive. They are starving, shivering, and covered in frostbite. But you hold the ultimate weapon, your mind. Across the freezing, rushing water, the Roman legions assemble. They are arrogant. They are heavily armored. They want your blood. You send your light cavalry to poke the beast. You deliberately provoke them. The enraged Romans plunge into the icy river. They wade through freezing, chest-deep water. They have not even eaten breakfast. By the time they reach your side, they are shivering, sluggish, and weak. The trap snaps shut. You unleash your frostbitten survivors. The mud quickly turns slick with Roman blood. The screams of dying men fill the frozen valley. You slaughter them in the thousands. You watch the invincible Roman military machine break in the mud. You prove that your sheer tactical genius can obliterate any disadvantage. The ticking clock resets. You are just getting started. Level 6, the Lake of Blood. Thick, blinding fog rolls off the dark water. You wait in the damp hills above Lake Trasimene. Total silence. Below you, 30,000 heavily armed Romans march blindly along the narrow shore. They have absolutely no idea you are there. You raise your sword. You spring the trap. Your men pour down the hillsides like an avalanche of iron. The slaughter is flawless. Panicked Romans are pushed violently backward into the freezing lake. Heavy armor drags them down into the mud. The shallow water turns thick and black with blood. Another impossible victory. But Rome does not shatter. They panic, and they mutate. They appoint a ruthless new dictator. He knows he cannot beat your mind on the battlefield. So he refuses to fight you. He shadows your movements like a coward. He burns the crops before you can harvest them. He slaughters the livestock before you can feed your starving men. He uses scorched-earth tactics to choke you out. You are trapped deep inside a barren, burning wasteland. Your supplies are bleeding dry. The ticking clock just became deafening. Level 7, the masterpiece of Cannae. The dust chokes the sweltering afternoon air. Before you stands the ultimate nightmare. Rome has assembled the largest army in its history. 80,000 heavily armored killers block your path. The ground physically shakes beneath their marching boots. You look at your own men. A drastically smaller, fractured force of mercenaries. You are massively outnumbered. The math dictates your absolute destruction. But you do not panic. You orchestrate a masterpiece of pure violence. You place your weakest troops in the center. You order them to slowly buckle backward. The arrogant legions push forward. They pack themselves tightly into the killing zone. They do not realize they are trapped. You give the signal. Your elite veterans swing shut on the flanks. Your cavalry seals the exit behind them. The trap is perfectly locked. The Romans are packed so tightly they cannot even raise their swords. What follows is not a battle. It is an industrial slaughter. In a single bloody afternoon, over 50,000 Romans are butchered. The screams shatter the sky. The myth of Roman invincibility lies dead in the dirt. Level 8, the Decade of Ash. You have slaughtered a generation of Roman men. Their bones bleach in the sun. You stand before the massive stone walls of Rome. But you hit a fatal wall of your own. You lack heavy siege engines. You cannot break these towering gates with swords alone. You send desperate pleas back to Carthage. You beg for reinforcements. But your corrupt politicians refuse. They hoard gold across the sea while you bleed. You are completely abandoned. You suffer a massive, game-breaking nerf. You are forced to wander the Italian peninsula. Not for months. For over a decade. The ash of burned villages coats your tired lungs. Your elite veterans are slowly dying off. Every bitter winter chips away at your unstoppable army. Rome simply refuses to surrender. They pull new legions from the dirt like weeds. They endlessly print fresh soldiers. The ticking clock becomes a slow, agonizing bleed. Your masterpiece is turning to dust. But your iron will does not break. You grip your battered sword. You march on. Level 9, the student becomes the master. 15 years of Italian blood turned to ash. A brilliant new Roman general has risen. Scipio Africanus. He ignores you entirely. He sails straight for an undefended Carthage. Your homeland is burning. You abandon your life's greatest work. You rush back across the unforgiving sea. You stand on the scorching sands of Zama. But your invincible veterans are gone. You are forced to lead terrified, untrained conscripts. Their hands shake holding their heavy spears. The desert sun bakes your bronze armor. The Roman war horns blast. The ultimate nightmare unfolds. You watch through the blinding dust. Scipio does not fight like a Roman. He fights exactly like you. He executes your own flawless flanking maneuver. The Roman cavalry swings shut like a steel trap. They swallow your breaking lines in the sand. The slaughter is absolute. It is your first and final crushing defeat. Your tactical masterpiece is fully shattered. But as blood soaks the desert, you remain rigid. You grip your cracked sword. You do not kneel. Level 10, the poison chalice. You are an old man. Your hair is gray, but your hatred burns bright. To protect Carthage from Rome's vengeance, you live in exile. You spend your final decades running. You are a hunted ghost wandering the harsh eastern kingdoms. You survive as a mercenary advisor to paranoid foreign kings. The ticking clock has followed you to Bithynia. Rome never forgives. Rome never forgets. You hear the heavy crunch of iron boots echoing in the stone courtyard. Roman assassins. They have finally cornered you. There is no brilliant trap left to spring. There is no loyal army left to command. They want to drag you back to Rome in chains. They want to parade you through their streets as a broken trophy. You smile a grim, defiant smile. You reach deep into your worn robes. Your rough fingers grip a cold, hidden glass vial. Poison. You will never give them the satisfaction of a Roman triumph. You pull the cork. You drink the bitter liquid. It burns your throat like dark fire. You fall, but you do not yield. You choose death on your own terms.